Right now, even in complete silence, your mind is talking, planning the next thing, replaying the last thing, judging, comparing, regretting, an endless, automatic stream of noise that never truly stops. And here's the part nobody says out loud. You've become so addicted to the noise that without it, you no longer know who you are. Most people spend their entire lives running from silence. Not because silence is dangerous, but because silence reveals something they've spent years trying to avoid. Themselves. Look around. Millions of people moving through life. Always distracted. Always consuming. Always one scroll away from not having to think. Music. Social media. Work. Streaming. Anything. To avoid sitting alone with their own mind. And the system rewards this. Because a distracted person never asks the questions that matter. But every once in a while, usually late at night, when the phone is down and the room goes quiet, you feel it. That strange hollowness. That quiet, unsettling sense that something about the way you're living is fundamentally wrong. That feeling is not a glitch. That feeling is the truth. Trying to get your attention. Modern life promised us everything. Bigger cities, faster technology, infinite convenience, constant connection. And yet, people have never felt more anxious, more isolated, more emotionally drained. Why? Because comfort is not the same as peace. Distraction is not the same as happiness. And constant stimulation doesn't enrich your experience of life. It destroys your capacity for it. Most people are alive physically, but psychologically, they're on autopilot. Wake up, check the phone before they've said a word to themselves. Rush through the day, repeat the same stress, carry the same unresolved weight, day after day, year after year, until one morning, life stops feeling real. And maybe that's why people seem so angry right now. So reactive, so impatient, so quick to explode over nothing. Because underneath all the noise, there is a human being who is completely exhausted. Someone who lost connection with stillness a long time ago and hasn't found the way back. But the problem goes deeper than modern society. Much deeper. Because the real chaos is not outside you. It's inside you. Have you ever truly looked at something? Not photographed it. Not labeled it. Not immediately thought about what it means. Actually looked. The moment you see a tree, your mind instantly starts talking. Oak. Nice shade. Reminds me of somewhere. And in that half second, you stop seeing the tree. You started seeing your memory of trees. Your mental file. Built years ago and never updated. This is how most people experience their entire lives. Not reality directly, but a constant mental commentary about reality. Filtered through old memories. Old pain. Old identity. And this is where suffering quietly begins. Because you're carrying the psychological weight of 1,000 yesterdays into every single moment. Most people never actually meet the present. They keep meeting their past, dressed up as now. Think about how much energy people spend protecting an image of themselves, their status, their reputation, their carefully constructed identity. But who are you? Without all of that, without the job title, without the opinions, without the validation, most people can't sit with that question for more than a few seconds. Because underneath the personality, underneath the social performance, there is uncertainty. And the ego cannot tolerate uncertainty. So it keeps itself busy. That's what social media really is. Not connection. A stadium of people, desperately performing for each other, chasing attention, status, and approval. Because stillness feels unbearable. And no matter how much attention they get, the emptiness returns. Because the ego can never be satisfied. It survives on comparison, on conflict, on becoming. It always needs more. And that endless internal struggle is quietly destroying people. Here's something that should stop you cold. We've built rockets that leave the solar system. But most people cannot sit alone in a quiet room for 10 minutes. That tells you exactly where we are. We've mastered the external world and completely lost access to the internal one. And without that access, life becomes purely mechanical. Someone insults you, automatic reaction. Someone praises you, temporary high. Someone challenges your beliefs, instant defensiveness. Stimulus, reaction, stimulus, reaction, over and over. But is that living? Or is that just a very convincing simulation of it? Most people believe freedom means doing whatever they want. But that's just a more comfortable cage. Real freedom begins the moment you stop being automatically controlled by every passing thought, every flicker of fear, every emotional reflex. And that requires something almost no one practices anymore. Observation. Pure, honest observation. To sit quietly and watch your thoughts without immediately becoming them. To feel fear and not run. To feel loneliness and not grab your phone. To feel anger and not perform it. Just watch. Like you'd watch clouds move across the sky. You don't argue with a cloud. You don't try to make it a different color. You simply observe it passing. And it passes. Your thoughts work the same way. They don't need to be fought. They don't need to be fixed. They need to be seen. This is also why self-improvement traps people. Because the part of you trying to fix yourself is usually the same part that created the problem. You want to eliminate your anxiety, but the anxious mind is running the elimination project. You want to become more confident, but insecurity is designing the plan. It's like hiring the problem to solve itself. And so people stay stuck, fighting themselves for years, trying to become better, trying to become worthy, trying to finally feel like enough, always chasing some future version of themselves, where everything will finally be okay. But that future never arrives, because the present keeps getting skipped. Psychological time is the real prison, not the clock on the wall. The mental loop of living in yesterday's pain and tomorrow's fear, while this moment, this breath, this actual life, passes completely unnoticed. Most people never experience the present. They experience their memories of the past and their projections of the future, endlessly, exhaustingly. But something shifts when a person finally stops running, when they sit completely still and face themselves honestly, without distraction, without judgment, without the performance of who they're supposed to be. For the first time, they start to see clearly. And in that clarity, there is a silence that is not empty. It's full of everything you've been too distracted to notice. This is not the fake peace sold by wellness culture, not a technique, not a product, not a 10-step program. It's what remains when the noise finally stops, when you stop performing, when you stop chasing, when you stop trying to become someone. Instead of simply being someone, life becomes lighter, simpler, real again. You are not separate from this world. You are part of it. The same universe that created the stars created you. And maybe peace begins, not when life finally gets easier, but the moment you stop fighting what is already here. Not tomorrow, not when you figure it out, not when things calm down, but in this very moment.